In this video, Martin Ascher will give us an insight to all his product lineup, the existing ones and the brand new products that are in the pipeline, including the screened McLaren wheel with 300mm. Also, he will talk a little bit about his new dashboards, and it's very interesting to hear with what grade of perfection he is approaching his topic. If you like what you see, please consider giving me a thumbs up or a subscription to my channel. It would make my day. But now, let's go! So, welcome. Today with me is Martin Ascher, who will talk about his products, and we will start off, I think, with the main product itself, the F64 USB V3.
Sure. So last year we launched the V3 of the F64 steering wheel. So you have plenty of inputs, but this year we made it wireless as well. So it's wireless for the SimRacing, and we paid a lot of attention to get the power consumption right, and we managed to get it up to 800, maybe 1000 hours before you need to recharge. So you don't need to swap any batteries. You can simply plug it in with USB-C and it's gonna recharge within a couple of hours.
I think you are one of the, let's say, very few manufacturers who does wireless, because it's, I think, a discipline on its own to have a reliable wheel that is working even in competition mode wirelessly, and I think this is a huge step for the community, not only having the USB variant but also having now the option to go wireless for this wheel.
We try to make it wireless wherever we can, and when we develop components for it, for example the clutch pedals, it's on the top of our list to get power consumption right. So here, for example, we are using a Hall sensor to get the signal, and we don't use any Hall sensor. We use a very, very specific one, and we program the Hall sensor to our needs. So it's programmed to the perfect range to get the most out of the signal, and we also enable some power saving options. So for example, if you don't need the clutch pedals, they will go into some kind of sleep mode to not consume any power, but they are back within a tenth of a second. So you won't feel it, but you will feel it that the wheel, you don't need to recharge once a day. You can drive it for many, many months before you need to recharge.
That is good to hear, also for the very, let's say, lazy sim racers under us that do not want to charge a wheel every day.
Yeah,
that is perfect.
Yeah, and this is our very popular F28 steering wheel. It's also wireless, obviously. It has a reduced number of inputs, and this was actually our very, very first wireless wheel for the SimRacing, and the technology is the first one we developed together with SimRacing. So it has the battery installed. You need to swap the battery, but again, every 3 years. It's on the market for about 3 years, so 4 years, I guess, and some customers got back to us and said, yeah, I had to change the battery now. So yeah, and it's a comfort thing to not have a coiled cable. If you do it right with the coiled cable, you don't have it touching your knees, then it's okay as well, but wireless or not having a coiled cable, let's say it like that, is a nice thing to have.
I can second that, because this is always a sort of thing you need to worry about, that the cable is placed in a good position, that it's not influencing your driving style.
Wherever we can. For the GT racing guys, we have our button plates. So we have 2 button plate models, and we made it compatible with, like, let's say 90% of the steering wheels on the market. So you can choose your steering wheel that you like the most, with size, shape, leather, Alcantara, whatever you want, and you can attach the button plate to it. And you have also plenty of inputs and whatever you like.
Yeah,
it's available wireless and USB.
This is a huge plus in the community because some of the racers are going for custom rim and they are just mounting the button plate to it so that it's a sim racing wheel then. So this is, I guess, a huge plus. But what else do you have in mind if you're talking about innovation in sim racing products?
I did quite a lot in the background, and this year we are going to show it off. So if you view your camera a little bit to the left, you can see our dashboards. We developed dashboards with higher resolution screen and 21 LEDs, and we made it compatible with the very, very popular SimHub software. So SimHub has, I would say, thousands of dashboards available. We provide a dashboard, of course, but you can use whatever you want. And it's telemetry based with any game on the market, so you can control the LEDs however you want. You can add rev lights, like here. You can add flag signs, ABS traction control. It helps you driving. For example, if you are racing a Formula 1 car with DRS, you will not forget about the DRS because the dashboard will flash in your face. When I developed the dashboards, I paid close attention to get it as close as possible. So from the side view, you will see it's only, was it 18 millimeters or 19? I think 18 millimeters deep. So you can get it as close to the screen as possible.
Ah, that is perfect.
Yeah, so sim racers want to have the monitor as close as possible for the widest field of view. So everything is as tiny, as tight as possible. And we ship it with an angled USB-C connector on the rear side. Yeah. And if you are watching your teammates driving, you can switch it off on the rear side as well. You don't need to do anything, and it should get back by itself, you know.
That is cool. So the screen down below says the price is coming in Q1. You are one of the few competitors out there, of the few producers of hardware, sim racing hardware, that is at an early stage giving an outlook to what is coming maybe in the future, to inspire your customers in a way of what to expect from the Ascher Racing brand. So I know it because I'm standing next to the gadget, but I would bet there is some other fancy stuff coming around.
Yeah, you said Q1 is the dashboard stuff. If you add maybe 2 quarters to that, we want to show the preview for what's coming next year. It's a completely new steering wheel series. So actually we are working together with McLaren, and we developed the real racing car for the Artura GT4, and based on the real steering wheel we developed a complete esports series. So from beginning to ultimate, you will get whatever you want, and it's the real racing wheel. I can show you.
We'll start from the beginning.
Let's start from the beginning. So this is the steering wheel from the Artura GT4 McLaren. It has 10 buttons and 2 rotary encoders, and the buttons are illuminated. So the real car is talking to the driver with visual effects, like if the pit limiter is on or off, it shows on the button. Also, a lot of inexperienced drivers are driving these kind of cars, and you don't need to explain, look for this kind of symbol, the button will flash and you will press it. All the components are developed for motorsports, so it's like a toolbox we developed. We can use to develop other kind of steering wheels.
So no compromise made.
No compromises made. We started actually with a white paper and a sheet of specifications. There are new pedal shifters. They are completely ball bearings everywhere, no play at all. You can touch it on the very top. It will not flex. We don't use a standard micro switch anymore. There's a Hall sensor switch, which is super precise. We tested it until the test rig broke down. It was actually 20 million activations, and the shifter, we are showing it over there, it's still actually brand new. The shifters are also dampened for esports use. A lot of streamers had a little complaints about the loudness of the shifter.
In my review videos, I'm measuring the decibels of the shifters, and it's interesting to see.
Yeah, we were
how
not the
different
quietest one, but hopefully not the loudest.
Maybe I spoil a bit, but there are other competitors who are maybe a bit louder.
Yeah, I tried to reduce the loudness in earlier pedal shifters as well. We had an injection molded plastic part to not have aluminium on aluminium. This is the ultimate loudest shifter. But here we had to do some kind of compromise. You don't want to have it too dampened because it doesn't feel good anymore. But we found the solution, which is based on very, very tight tolerances. So several hundreds of a millimeter is the tolerance of the rubber end stop, and this gives us the precision we need. It still feels good. If you try it out, it's super precise, but it's like super quiet.
So not only for real race car drivers, but also coming to your living room for all the sim racers. But it's not ending there. Yeah, this is just the beginning.
For the esports series, we are starting with the first model. It has 14 push buttons, 2 7-way joystick switches, and the same pedal shifters. All the components are the same as mentioned. We are offering the steering wheel with a USB coil cable connection, but also wireless for the SimRacing. At this point, it's not quite decided yet, but the USB steering wheels are also controlled by SimHub, like the dashboards, and you can control the telemetry of every single button, whatever you want.
Cool.
We have a replay running right now, so some buttons are flashing, and this is the engine start. You can control whatever you want. Like the DRS button is on or off. If you have Discord muted, everything is on the steering wheel shown. And we didn't end like there. We wanted the customer to decide where to push the button. We don't want to configure the steering wheel and the customer has to use it like this. So that's why we made completely customized switches, switch caps, which you can remove from the outside. You don't have to open the steering wheel, you can remove the button guard plan.
That is very good to know, yeah?
And once this is removed with a couple of screws, you can pull out the caps and put it where you want. And we are offering a large variety of any button caps you can imagine, and you can decide where to put something.
That is so super cool.
Yeah. And another point to finish off the illumination buttons, we didn't want to have a very bright LED spot in the middle. So we tried everything for many months, how to get it right that the illumination is consistent. And we can only do this with completely customized parts. So we have a piggyback PCB for the LED, which is sitting underneath the cap. We have a 2-component cap, and everything is very tight inside. But only this way we have the very bright illumination, but also very consistent to the edge of the button cap. And the symbols are lasered, so you don't have to add any stickers which were or something like that. So we are quite sure that this is a good way to solve many issues. Next to the button itself, which is like automotive switch rated to 10 million times. So then we can switch to the next model. We added some inputs. Obviously, you can see the rotary switches from the real McLaren steering wheel, but you also have encoders over here. You have 2 encoders on each side, and you can do lots of stuff with it. First of all, again, we want to have the very best ergonomics and feeling that you can imagine. So we were working together with the manufacturer of the switches, and actually we created a new part number to set up the encoder exactly like we wanted, with regards to resistance, feel, detent torque and stuff like that. So it feels quite unique but super precise, and it's not, it's the real stuff, I would say. On the rear side we are adding the clutch pedals, the motorsport clutch pedals, and we made a double shifter. So you can exchange the single shifter with the double shifter. It has the same bolt pattern, the same connector inside. You could upgrade the first model to this model on the rear side, no problem.
But it's not ending there. I see something else which is completely new for the Ascher brand.
Yeah,
it's a wheel with a screen.
Exactly, that's new. Actually, this is the same wheel like the second model, plus the dashboard. So the dashboard, which we saw earlier, is integrated into this steering wheel. You have the touch control of the display. So if you want to switch pages, you can do this, but you can also map any buttons to it. So again, we are creating a dashboard with tons of functions. We did quite a lot of work to program it very sophisticatedly, with a lot of logic behind. For example, if you are sitting in the pit lane and the pit limiter is not on and the revolutions are above 0, then you get a function. Or if your fuel tank is running empty, you will not miss the pit box anymore. Stuff like that. So on the rear side, same full upgraded clutch pedals and shifters. So
that is really awesome. But before everyone in the community is asking how much will it cost or when will it be available, this is work in progress. It's not the final product. Just you want to say something about it?
Yeah, we think we are going to the market in next year, Q3, if nothing major is happening anymore. It's really hard to say because of it's so difficult to get electronic components. That's quite the limiting factor here. But we are aiming for Q3 2023, and the price is not decided yet. But you will hear from us. Follow us on social media, or keep watching this channel and you will hear about it. Yeah,
that is awesome. So all the sim racers out there, go and save some money, because what you will get is really awesome. Yeah. You can't touch it yet, maybe, but I have done it.
I have to add something.
Oh,
if you want the steering wheel right now, you need to buy the McLaren. It's installed there.
the first one. Or
the first one.
The first one.
You need to buy the McLaren. We are shipping the wheels right now, and if you want the wheel, you need to add some zeros.
Yeah, why not? Yeah, I can sell the car later, and I just have the wheel.
That you can do.
Exactly. No, but thank you very much, Martin, for giving us insights about the updates and the news from Ascher Racing. I think it's pretty awesome and astonishing what you have achieved, and what level of detail the wheels are. You can't just see it in the video, but if you touch them, they feel like a league on its own. So thank you very much, and it was a pleasure meeting you.
Thanks for having me. Bye.
Bye.